Now that the Fed is our friend, even as it might be a little less friendly after that producer price index number, we need to check in with some of the best names in housing, including the renovation and remodeling space, which brings me to Azek. That's the maker of composite materials. They're basically faux wood, except unlike wood, it doesn't fall apart. Now, I've been a fan of Azek, both the product and the stock, for a long time because they consistently outperform their own markets. Hence why the company reported a strong quarter 3 weeks ago, and the stock's now up 40% for the year, and it's in housing. So can it keep running? Yesterday, we got the chance to sit down with Jesse Singh, the president and CEO of Azek. Take a look. Mr. Singh, welcome back to Mad Money.
Great to be here. Thank you, Jim.
Jesse, I got to tell you something. I've spent a lot of time thinking about your group and how it's a no-growth group. But you have tremendous growth. How can you overrun your sector?
Thanks for that intro, Jim. We last year, with the fiscal year we just finished, we grew 12%. In a market that in R&R, repair and remodel in general, has been flat. I think for us, it starts with a pretty strong focus on the customer and a strong focus on converting our products, TimberTech decking and Azek trim, from wood, which is the predominant market, and our types of products, launching new products, and then using that to expand our shelf position in the marketplace. So we've got a formula that we've been focused on executing over the last few years that we believe, between the things I just listed, gives us an opportunity to at least grow 5 to 7% over the marketplace.
Well, that's amazing because I'm not hearing you say, and if the Fed cuts this or if this happens, it just seems to me that you are more in control of your destiny than anyone in the segment that you play.
Yeah, it's really important when people say, you know, we control what we can control. We believe growth is something that should be part of that equation. And as part of that, we know the products we have. We know the market opportunity that's out there. We know where we can expand with customers. And we are laser focused on continuing to grow our business through the TimberTech brand in particular, which grew 18% last year in a flat market.
One of the things that I find unusual about one of the many things unusual about your company is that you have premium value. And I say that because you're not the cheapest, but people recognize that there is a tremendous value proposition with going with the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you start in our types of products, and just as a reminder, this is kind of an odd thing to show, but I'll show it to you. We take recycled materials. This happens to be a record album and credit card punches. And we put those into things like decking, rail, siding, and trim. As you point out, that's a premium value proposition, which means we give people better aesthetics. We give people long life and low maintenance. And so value for us is really value to the customer. Now, having said that, we continue to expand the product portfolio to meet more and more price points, and which is also important in this type of a market. So always adding more value, but doing it across multiple price points.
Now, you are a serial buyer of your stock, which is what we want because it returns value. But you're also building the plants. I mean, you guys are unstoppable in terms of your capital expenditures and the ability to be able, because you have to meet demand. So you're doing both meeting demand and also buying back stock.
Correct. Last year was a good capital deployment year for us. We retired a portion of our debt. We bought back an additional few points of stock, and we invested 5 to 7% of our revenue in both in growth and margin expansion. And it's important for us that we do that selectively. In addition, we bought a couple of tuck-in acquisitions. We bought a recycler and we bought a rail company, and these are relatively low investments that we're able to add value to that ultimately gives value to our customers.
All right, no, I was at Lowe's yesterday talking to Marvin Ellison, and we were trying to figure out, frankly, what does a customer really want? And it's got me thinking, who is the customer? For instance, when I switched to Azek, I did it not because of you, because I didn't know it was you. It is because my contractor told me how to use Azek. And then later on, when I did another job, I said I knew you, and the guy said, well, that's interesting because that's who I recommend. Is it the contractor or is it the person?
In our case, it's both. And it's really important to engage a consumer so that they recognize that, you know, they're buying a really premium product that gives them the right visual and the great performance. But it's also really important. There's tens of thousands, if not 100,000 contractors out there. Each and every one of them is a small business. They have their own credibility to manage, and it's really important that we take care of them. So for us, we market to the consumer, but we have a very large sales force that is focused on training and helping our contractors to run their business and giving them the right tools to help a consumer.
Well, but you do have a kind of a varied audience. And I have the good fortune to have a beach house, and my daughter said, you know, look, Dad, you keep using the wood. It's costing a fortune. I looked into it, and I found this outfit. Didn't know that I know you. But why did she want to use you? Because she is sensitive to the environment. Now, is this younger generation, do you pitch them that first? Because I know you're a replacement for wood, but there are a lot of people who say, thank heavens they're also using this stuff, getting out of the landfill.
You know, environmentally, by using a very high percentage of recycle like we do, we're actually more environmentally sustainable from a carbon footprint standpoint than wood. I would say it varies by segment. In the DIY segment, it's important that we offer the right price points and the right accessibility. In the more premium segments, we continue to offer a really premium value proposition. And in the millennial segment that I believe your daughter fits into,
she sure does.
It's really important that we market both, that we market sustainability, but also long-lasting and have the right kind of value proposition. So,
when you took this job coming from 3M, did you know this was a growth company, or did you just turn it into a growth company?
You know, we coming in the market, you love coming into a market where the vast majority of the market, in my case when I started, 85% is an inferior material, which in our case was wood. And so you look at it, we had you know, a strong technology base that required some investment, some nurturing, brand building, and an expansion of new products. And when you start with a base like that, you assume that there's a growth business underneath that. And I'm really proud of what the team's been able to accomplish in driving the TimberTech brand, driving the Azek brand to really add value to our consumers.
Well, you've made a lot of money for people, but you're also an inspiration. And actually, I think kind of the textbook of what a company and a CEO can do to make it so you've got great growth in an industry, frankly, where there is very little growth. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jim.
That's Jesse Singh, CEO of Azek. I didn't mean to be a commercial for it. It just happened to be you. I happen to be a big user of it. Mad Money's back after the break.
Coming up, Service Titan soared in its first day of trading yesterday. Does the successful debut signal a welcoming market for IPOs in the new year? Cramer is covering the newly public company. Next. Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.